High Commander Vorthok of the Draconian Empire stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Eternal Dominance, watching Earth rotate peacefully in the view screen. His scaled features twisted into what his species considered a predatory smile as he reviewed the intelligence reports that had brought his battle fleet to this unremarkable blue world. Primitive chemical rockets, nuclear fission power, fragmented nation-states, he announced to his bridge crew, his voice dripping with contempt. The humans haven't even achieved basic energy manipulation or unified planetary government. This will be the easiest conquest in Imperial history. Fleet Commander Sektar, veteran of 47 successful planetary subjugations, nodded in agreement. High Commander, our scouts report total human military assets at approximately 12,000 atmospheric aircraft and 200 orbital platforms. Their most advanced weapons appear to be fusion bombs devastating to their own species, but primitive by galactic standards. Vorthok's four eyes gleamed with satisfaction. The Draconian Empire had perfected the art of intimidation over 3 millennia. They would make their demands, demonstrate superior firepower, and watch as yet another primitive species knelt before imperial might. Open a channel to all human communication networks, Vorthok commanded. It's time to introduce this species to their new reality. The transmission reached every device on Earth, simultaneously televisions, radios, computer networks, even individual communication devices. Vorthok's imposing figure appeared on screens across the planet, his ceremonial armor gleaming and his voice carrying the authority of absolute power. "Humans of Earth," he began, "I am High Commander Vorthok of the Draconian Empire. Your world now falls under Imperial jurisdiction. You have 72 of your hours to surrender unconditionally. Comply, and you will be granted the privilege of serving the Empire as a client species. Resist." He paused for dramatic effect, "and we will demonstrate why 3,000 years of galactic conquest have taught lesser species to fear draconian might." To emphasize his point, Vorthok ordered a demonstration. A single plasma bolt from the Eternal Dominance struck an uninhabited asteroid in Earth's vicinity, vaporizing the kilometer-wide rock in seconds. "Consider this a gentle warning," Vorthok continued. "Our fleet of 200 vessels carries enough firepower to render your world uninhabitable. Choose wisely." The transmission ended, and Vorthok settled back to wait for the inevitable surrender. In his experience, the demonstration of superior technology was usually enough to break any primitive species' will to resist. What came back defied every assumption the Draconian Empire had made about humanity. The response transmission originated from a location the Draconians had identified as Geneva, Switzerland. A middle-aged human woman in formal attire appeared on screen, sitting calmly behind what appeared to be a simple wooden desk. "High Commander Vorthok," she began, in a tone that was neither fearful nor submissive. "I am Secretary General Elena Rodriguez of the United Nations. We've received your demands. However, I'm afraid there's been a misunderstanding." Vorthok's mandibles clicked in annoyance. "There is no misunderstanding, human. Your species will submit to Imperial authority or face." High Commander, Secretary General Rodriguez, interrupted politely. "Before we continue, I should probably inform you that our initial assessment of your fleet has been completed." She glanced at a document on her desk. 200 vessels, approximately 2 kilometers in length each, powered by what our analysts have identified as fourth-generation fusion drives with plasma-based weaponry. Impressive by local galactic standards. The casual tone with which she described military intelligence that should have been impossible for humans to gather sent a chill through the Draconian bridge crew. However, Rodriguez continued, "I feel obligated to point out that your fleet's position, course, and defensive capabilities have been mapped in detail by our monitoring systems. In the interest of avoiding unnecessary conflict, we'd like to offer you a counter-proposal. Vorthak's four eyes narrowed dangerously. Counter-proposal? You dare to negotiate with the Draconian Empire? Leave our solar system immediately, Rodriguez said matter-of-factly. Return to your territory. File a report classifying Earth as a protected system, and we'll consider this an unfortunate misunderstanding. No harm, no foul. The bridge erupted in harsh draconian laughter. Commander Sektar was the first to speak. High Commander, the audacity of this primitive species is almost amusing. Should we begin orbital bombardment to clarify their position? Vorthak was about to give the order when his sensor operator's voice cut through the laughter. Sir, we have a problem. I'm detecting massive energy signatures emerging from everywhere. On the tactical display, what had moments before shown empty space around Earth now revealed hundreds of contacts materializing from apparent nothingness. Ships, if they could be called ships that defied draconian understanding of physics. Vessels that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously, powered by energy sources that registered beyond their instruments' ability to measure. Stealth technology, Vorthak breathed, though he knew immediately that wasn't accurate. The human vessels weren't using stealth, they had been operating in dimensional spaces that draconian science couldn't even detect. Secretary General Rodriguez's voice continued calmly from the communication array. High Commander, you're now surrounded by the sole defense fleet. Each vessel is equipped with what we called dimensional displacement weaponry's technology that your species hasn't encountered before. Our scientists estimate that a single human destroyer could neutralize your entire fleet in approximately 7 minutes. Impossible, Vorthak snarled. No primitive species could possess such technology. Primitive? Rodriguez's tone carried a hint of amusement. High Commander, humanity has been preparing for contact with hostile alien species since we first detected your empire's radio transmissions over 80 years ago. Did you really think we'd spend 8 decades sitting idle? The tactical display told the story Vorthak didn't want to believe. The human vessel's sleek, impossible constructs that seemed to bend space around them had achieved perfect tactical positioning. Every draconian ship was targeted by multiple human vessels, and their weapons' signatures indicated technology that operated on principles beyond draconian understanding. You see, Rodriguez explained conversationally, humans have this unfortunate tendency to prepare for the worst-case scenario. When we realized the galaxy was inhabited by aggressive species with superior technology, we decided to do something about it. Commander Sektar's voice was barely a whisper. Sir, I'm detecting quantum signatures that suggest reality manipulation technology. How is this possible? High Commander, Rodriguez's voice took on a slightly harder edge. You have 30 seconds to begin your withdrawal from our system. After that, we'll demonstrate why threatening human children and families was unwise. Vorthak found himself facing a choice no draconian commander had ever confronted: retreat from a species they had dismissed as primitive, or face technology that could apparently rewrite the laws of physics. This is impossible, he repeated. Our intelligence was perfect. Your species showed no signs of advanced capability. Rodriguez's smile was almost pitying. High Commander, surely you didn't think we'd advertise our defensive capabilities to potential invaders? Humans have been practicing operational security since we learned to make weapons. A new voice cut into the transmission, younger, male, with a distinctly military bearing, ma'am. This is Admiral Chen aboard the Prometheus. The Draconians have 15 seconds to begin their withdrawal, or will be forced to demonstrate why the sole defense fleet exists. Vorthak looked at his tactical display one more time. 200 draconian vessels, the pride of an empire that had conquered half the galaxy, surrounded by human ships that operated on technology beyond his comprehension. All vessels, he announced, his voice hollow with defeat, begin immediate withdrawal from the Sol system. As the Draconian fleet engaged their hyperdrives and fled, Secretary General Rodriguez's final transmission followed them into the void. High Commander, when you file your report with the Empire, please be sure to include our message to any other species. Considering hostile action against Earth, human beings are peaceful by choice, not by necessity. We strongly recommend that choice be respected. The transmission ended, leaving Vorthak alone with the knowledge that his empire had just encountered something unprecedented in 3 millennia of conquest, a species that was exactly as dangerous as they chose to be. Sir, Commander Sektar asked quietly, what do we tell the Imperial Council? Vorthak stared at the stars where Earth had disappeared behind them. We tell them that humanity is to be classified as a level Omega threat, and we pray they never decide to visit us. Behind them, Earth continued its peaceful rotation, defended by guardians. The galaxy was only beginning to understand.